Hi everybody. Get y'all even on there. There we go. I hope y'all are doing good. Trying to make sure everything is good for y'all. Okay, bring it in a little bit more. So, if you didn't know, I have an Etsy store, and you should know that if you watch my channel a lot. If you're new to my channel, hi, thank you for watching, and please subscribe so you know whenever I'm doing videos. So anyways, this is my Etsy store. It's Country Love and Charm, and this is actually on one of my Kool-Aid stained papers too. But anyways, that's my Etsy store. You can find that on Etsy to find these. This is my new digi. So this is my new digis. Actually, not this one. This is just, I wanted to show y'all what beet juice does, how it looks on paper. So there's your regular copy paper. This is a darker beet juice. Well, not darker, but I drizzled it on the crushed paper. That's how I made this one. And this one is just dipped, squeezed, and then kind of loosened up, and then just let it sit and dry as well. And that's how I got it. This is the same one on the cardstock. I do believe this is like 90 pounds, I think. Cardstock, I do believe. So anyways, I just wanted to share those with you. Today is not about those, but about these. This is my eco-dyed prints. The originals are put away to these because, I don't know, I just prefer to do that. I don't know. But yeah, this is on cardstock paper that you can get from Walmart. It's just solid white. You can print these on, you know, like print something on the back before you print the eco, or the eco and then the print on the back. It's up to you. But I picked out my favorite ones before I printed them out. And the ones that I like the most that had the darkest print. And I even do some that's what they call ghost printing. That's what I call it anyways. And it's where it's the eco-dyed prints, but they're a lighter color. They're not as vibrant like this is. And I love those, and they're called ghosting in my mind. That's what I named them to be, is ghosting prints, because they're very pale, and they're still just as lovely. So, okay, with that said, this one is a elephant leaf. This is a small elephant leaf. I have huge elephant leaves, but when they're babies, they come out, they're about that big. And so I cut those and I use those because they will fit on the paper better. But yeah, I always grab the smallest ones, and they have to be yellowed to get a good print. This one was a green one, I do believe, and that's why it didn't do a good print. But it shows the ghosting of it. And the rust in the pan, I went a little bit overboard with the rust because I do love the rust color. I must say, I do. Some of these, I didn't cut off the edges. I left a border. I did the border where it gives you a border. But some of these actually has, I'll show you here in just a second. But yeah, that's the elephant ear that I did. And this is, these are actually cardstock, not cardstock, what do they call them? Index cards. I used index cards in between papers as well. There's two here, as you can see. I just put them side by side and put them down on the screen of my scanner and scan them together. And I forgot to bring it in to get rid of the excess white. So when you download these, there's a gnat in here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get rid of it because he's getting right in my face. But anyways, if you want to, you can trim them down. That's what I have done with other people's digitals. So anyways, this one is, I'm trying to remember, coleus. This is the coleus. This is the flower shoot that comes off of it. And these are the little frilly, I love the edges to these flowers. And I love how the green came out onto this so well. I used allium, I think it's called A-L-L-U-M or O-M, I forget. You can get it on Amazon. It's like a pound. They have a pound jar. That's the one I use. It's a little small jar. It's about that big. And I forget how much I paid for it. Sorry. if I can get around to it, I'll make a little list like the other ladies do of my favorite things. Okay, that's what I'll do. If I can get around to it. If I can remember, in other words. Because my memory is not the best in the world. But anyways, I noticed how these were brand new flowers. As you can see, they have the green in them still. I noticed how it looks like there's spots where there's like there's nothing there. And I don't understand why I did that. But, you know, it happens. It was boiled. That's what happens when you, if you don't know and you've never done eco dyeing, this is what eco dyeing is where you take a plant from the garden and you get a whole bunch of them, and you get a whole bunch of papers, and you put them on top of the paper. Hang on. Oh, he got away. Darn it. It was the little gnat. He is bugging me. Pun intended. No, it wasn't intended, actually. So anyways, back to what I was saying. He's getting on my nerves. You just put your whatever plant that you're choosing to use, you put them in on one piece, and you put a piece of paper on top. Try and use cardstock kind, because when you don't, I used the long paper that I've showed that's about almost the length of this table. And it can fold up, and it can be the size of one of these. And that's what I did. And I would put the plants in between each one. And that way I tried to keep them from blending together, but sometimes I did get blendage, and I'll show you that. These are cardstock. That's why. These are really, they're index cards. So they didn't bleed through to get the print from behind on the front here. So that happens. This one, the same thing. This one was on a cardstock. It was at the, I do believe, at the bottom. Yeah, this one was at the bottom. That's why you see these lines that goes through. That's from the thing that it was sitting on to keep it from touching the bottom of the pan, to keep it from burning. This one I really, really do like. This one is really cool, very grungy. But yeah, it's really, really cool. I love that one. And this is another one of the index card ones. This one is a, I'm trying to remember if it's a coleus. It's a type of coleus, but it's the kind with the tubers. This one is the plant version. It has beautiful bright like reds and dark maroons and stuff like that. That's what this one is. And it's a plant, like just with roots. It's not a bulbous one. This one is a bulb kind. This one has the thin leaves. It's more, I don't even know how to put it. But anyways, this one is that kind. This has the bulbs, the little round bulbs that you put in. You can put them in your pots, or you can put them around trees. Same thing with these, but these are plants that you can get that are already growing. No bulbs to them. So that's the difference. So this one had, I do believe it has a lot of white and a lot of red streaks, you know, like veins in it. And the center had more red veins. And it has points up here that comes around, as you can see. Where the elephant ears are more rounded on mine. They look like a big heart. And the way I do it is I cut it right at the leaf, getting rid of all that hard cardstock, the hard stem, so that it can lay flat. And then I put these two index cards on it, and then I put a sheet of paper on top of that so that it holds it down without it moving around. So there's that one. This was on pink paper. And this is the print that I got. And these are the index cards, as you can see them there. I had index cards laying on top. This is cinnamon basil. And this is the stalk here. And there's the leaves. I call that ghosting right there, because it barely can see it, but you know that there's a leaf there. I call that ghosting. I love it. I think it's really cool. But this is the flower seed pod area, whatever you want to call it. I call it the flower stalk, this flower seed stalk. That's the where the flowers grow, and they spike out sometimes in different shapes, however you cut your plant. But yeah, this was on top. I set those on top of the pink paper, and then the index cards, I pressed them on top of that to give them something substantial that's firmer. And then I put my regular copy paper on top of that so that it wouldn't bleed through to the next one. That's why. But that's how I got that one. And the ghosting I'm talking about is that. I think that is really cool. I call that ghosting. Yeah, that's really cool. Here's another one. I got him. See? I wasn't kidding. I had a, it was a gnat. I have plants in here that needs watering too. But yeah, they tend to put off bugs. This one is basically another one of this plant. This is a bigger leaf. I wanted to see if I could fit it on the paper, and this was a smaller one. And as you can see, there was some pink paper on the opposite side, so it bled through. The pink always bleeds through onto the white paper, the white cardstock. So anyways, that's the smaller version of this, and this one is with the index cards. You can even see the lines through it still. I don't know if you can see the lines. Well, this one didn't have that. This one does not have any lines or anything. It's just the leaf. And if you look hard enough, you can actually see other leaves that I had on the other side that actually did come through. So there's those. Here's another cinnamon basil shoot, seed pod thing, whatever. This one is on a red surface, and you can see the index cards through over past it. There's a leaf here, and then you have a ghosting leaf, and then the rest is the seed pods of the cinnamon basil. I just think that is so cool. I just love that. And then we have the pecan leaf. This is a pecan limb. It's actually a leaf. But anyways, these are the leaves from the pecan tree. It was still green. It had been knocked off during the hurricane we had here, and it was on the ground. So I picked it up, and I used it because it was already stressed, and that's something you need to understand. You have to stress your plants. In other words, after you pick them, let them sit for a few minutes at least, like a good 30 minutes. Let them stress, because they need to stress in order for the tannins to really come out. And that's why this happened. It's because it stressed in the yard. It had been sitting for so long that it stressed it. And then when I used it, it shows up. When you don't, you get the ghosting. It barely even shows. This was a leaf. This is a potato vine leaf. That's what I call it, potato vine. They're not connected. It's just sitting close to each other. I was trying to keep, make it give it a little cute little thing. But yeah, this is just rust. And as you can see, there's a piece of paper that's laying on top of there. Yeah, that's that one. This plant here is, I'm trying to remember what plant that one was from. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's from my neighbor's tree. It flew into my yard, I guess. If y'all hear rain, and we're getting rain right now, which is cool. I love rain. I love my plants to get rain. That's I have to do. Another cinnamon basil one. I don't know why I'm showing you all cinnamon basil. I'm surprised I didn't print out. Wow, it's coming down now. Can y'all hear that? Oh, it sounds really cool. So anyways, this is another cinnamon basil. It's probably one from, let's see, is it from that one? Nope. It's probably from the one down here. I only had 2 of the plant, that I picked. So one side is one side and the other side is the other side. So that's probably what it is. Okay, no, this can't be it, because the pink would have went over to this side. So it can't be that one, can it? There's that leaf. Nope, I don't see that leaf on here. So it must be another one. I must have had 3. Oh, maybe one of them is a coleus. I don't know, but anyways, this one is an eco-dyed print as well of the seed pod area. And then you got your leaves. I just think that one is really pretty. Trying to get it where you can see it on the camera really well. I just love them. And then there's this one. These are just different leaves around the yard. This is a flowers. This is a Vinca. I stressed the Vinca, had to flatten it out. And the way you want to do it, if you can't get it to lay down, if you stress it, because sometimes the little leaves will fold under, wet them first, then place them on where you want them on the paper, and kind of make sure that their leaves are laying flat and their leaves will grab. And then it'll be easier to work with. That's how I do it. These are crocodile tear coleus, and I don't know what that is. It's like a ghosting going on back there. I think that was, yeah, that's the grass blade that has like, I don't think I did I? I might have. Hopefully I did, and I'll show that one. But this is a potato vine, I think. No, yeah, it might be a potato vine. This is a coleus right here. These are the crocodile tears, I do believe, as well. This is coleus. Well, they're all coleus. I love coleus, can you tell? Another, no, actually, no, this one is the coleus. It's like the first print that I showed you. Not first, the second print. This is the coleus right here. This is the opposite side, I do believe. Yeah, these are the same print. They're just opposite of each other. And that's why I did it. So this one here is the index cards that were right here that you can see. That's those. So that's how that turned out. It turned out pretty well. It just, I pulled it down. I guess I shouldn't have done that because it does have a gap here where I just press it down. But yeah, so this was the, I do believe these were on top. So I laid the plant down, took the 2 index cards and put them on top, and then went up higher even with it. But yeah, the index cards, the top always gets the darker for some reason, which is cool. So always remember that when you're doing your eco dyeing, that the top one will always give you the better print. And this one is Rosemary. I did have a lot of rosemary on there. I don't know why I didn't grab a whole bunch of those pictures. This one is ivy, like house ivy, yes. This one is also an ivy leaf. And this one is, I do believe, an ivy leaf as well. So, I mean, wait a minute. Those might be... it's hard to tell. It really is. Because I did basil, rosemary. I did ivies, like house ivies. I did coleus, the plant version. And I did coleus leaves from the bulbs. And I also did elephant ears. I did Vinca Flowers. I did... oh, that's what that one was. Where's that? Let me show you here. Where is that? Hopefully I can find it real quick. Okay, there it is. I think that is my Vincas. I took off a little snip of it and I laid it down. And when I did, I think that's how my flower fell off. So I just put my flower down on its own. This is the Vinca leaves. So yeah. Okay, so these right here, I know that definitely is a basil leaf. That I know for a fact is a basil leaf. Yeah, that's not an ivy. This is an ivy. And I think that's an ivy. No, this is an ivy, and this is a zinnia leaf. So that one's zinnia, that's an ivy, and this is a basil cluster of leaves. This is like the very top of the thing where there's a whole bunch, and then the little shoot of flower starts to come off. And this is rosemary. And this is on my, the little squares, what do they call that? Graph paper. The non-bleeding graph paper. I just love that paper. Anyways, there's that one. And then we have, this is an ivy. This is a potato vine. These are the crocodile tear coleus. There's one too. And that's rust that you see around. And that's a vinca. It's a vinca flower. See what it does? It's so pretty. The other one that I showed, it's very prominent on it as well. So there's this vinca. That was a bigger flower, and this is the smaller vinca. Okay, so anyways, moving on. I have like 3 more papers, I think, maybe 2. Okay, this is the rosemary. This is a zinnia flower that I crushed down. This is the back of it because there's the stem. And these are marigold leaves. And there's a vinca that you can barely see right there. There should be other ones too, but I don't see them because I remember putting them on the same page. Well, anyways, these are the marigold leaves that you see dispersed around as well. This one is what I call the ghosting because it's not as prominent, not as dark. This is the other side that's of this. This is the ghosting, I call it, and this one is the prominent side. So this is the top portion, and this is the bottom where you lay it down on there. Yeah, that's what this one is. So there's that. Same picture, as you can see. Oh, it's coming down now. It's late at night, y'all. It's 2:54. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. This one is closer to the bottom. That's why it's all kind of like roughed up there. This one is a potato vine leaf, and then there's other ones that's in there. And this was a weed that has those little, they call them sensitive plants. They have these, looks like a fern but not. I don't know why I didn't use my ferns. I just realized that I didn't use any of my ferns. Anyway, I guess because it's used up. Everybody always uses ferns. Anyways, this one has the little, it's like the sensitive plant that's, they look like little ferns. They got these little round things that goes up to the tip, and then if you touch them, they kind of close up. That's what this does, but this is the weed version, I call it. And those are little dots, are the seeds, because the seeds was on it. But it closed up, and I just laid it on there. I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to let it go to waste, so I put it on there. And then you can just see little leaves here and there, along with the big one there. That is my digitals that you can find on my Etsy store. I just love these right here. These are my favorite by far. And the flower one too is my favorite, with a flower on there. But I have even more in the digital. You get 26 pieces. This one does not go in that one though. This one is going to be a new one that I do. It's going to be, it's called Index Eco Dyeing, Index Card Eco Dyeing. So these two right here will not be in that. Well, actually, this one will. This is the index card one. So that one won't be in this. There's 26 that you'll get. And you can print them out. And, yeah. And I guess that's all I can say about that. I did make a whole bunch of other ones once before. It was my very first try. And they turned out pretty good, too. But they weren't as dark because I didn't have that ALLUM or OM. Anyways, yeah, it's stuff that you sprinkle in there inside the water. You only need like a teaspoon of it. I kind of went overboard because I had never done it before, and I just didn't know how much I was putting in there because I didn't have a teaspoon with me. So I just kind of put a hole in the top of the metal seal, and I just sprinkled it around the edges. Then I kind of pressed and did this so it would suck that juice inside, and eventually it got it inside there, so it helped. And a half a cup of vinegar is what I used as well in there with it. And I used a good handful of rusted nails that I dispersed around the edge. And the pan itself I use is a roasting pan. It's one of those, it's about that thick, and it's like a triangle, is that what it's called? No, not triangle, rectangle shaped. And yeah, and I put it on my middle burner on my stove. The longest burner I have is for grilling. I put it on top of that one, and then I put it on full-fledged, so it just boils, and I let it boil for a good 2 hours, and then I take it off and I let it sit. They say to let it sit overnight, that the allium really does better when it's set overnight. I was being impatient. I wanted to see if the allium worked, and of course a lot of my prints didn't come out really, really strong and dark like I would have hoped. But yeah, I kind of like the ghosting though. I think the ghosting is really cool. Like these are like ghosting, I call it. You can see the print, but it's not real prominent. Now, I do have, actually I think this one is. I have two kinds of elephant ears out there. One of them is an elephant ear that's solid, like a heart-shaped kind, and they get really huge. This one is I don't know if you can see it. It comes up and it has these little squiggles like that on the edges. It's a type of flower plant that you can actually have inside your house. But I used to have one that was growing beside a house that I moved into. Y'all, them things get very, very tall when they're in the ground. They're very obtrusive. They get taller than your house, and you have to keep them cut back or they will take over an area. No one could even get in the gate anymore because it had taken over that corner of the side of the house. So anyways, I had found one. Somebody had thrown away a plant. I grabbed it off the side of a curb because it was too pretty to let die, you know. I mean, would you give up a free plant? I mean, these things are expensive too, these flowers. So anyways, I brought it home and I've made, well, I had one in the corner growing until they came out to work on the manhole that they have in our back corner of our yard. And when they did something to it and they killed it. So luckily I have 2 other ones growing in pots and they're doing great. So yeah. But that said, I'm going to let y'all go because I'm talking ears off and it's almost 30 minutes in. Not quite, but it's almost there. So if you head over to my Etsy store, there'll be 10 pictures on there. There'll be some of these more likely in that 10 pictures. Those are watermarked with my company name, my store name, and those will not be like that when you download them. They'll be just like this. When you download them, you can download them and put them on your computer. I do them as photos. I don't do a PDF file. I don't know how to do that. I only know to do JPEGs, and so they turn out great for me every time. So yeah, it's not that hard to do them with JPEGs. So I guess that's enough. I'm just talking your ears off. So I'm gonna let y'all go, and there you go. You can go and check those out. They're $1.99 right now. My other digis are on there are $1. The reason why these are more is because I put a lot of effort into these, and these are my prints that I did, and I love these. So plus, you know, this is my newest one, and usually whenever they're new, I do them for $1.99 if I choose to. If not, they'll be lower price. It depends. But yeah, I guess that's enough talking. I'm gonna let y'all go and let you go check those out if you want to go check those out. And I'm going to do another video, and it'll probably come up. It'll probably go up tomorrow, the next day. I mean, that you're watching this, it'll probably come up the next day. But I'm going to be working and doing some work in my journal that I'm working on. I do have plans to make a new journal, so keep your eyes out for that. It's going to be about someone instead of, you know, and all that. Again, thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day, and I bless you until next time. Bye. If I can find the button. Ooh, it's thundering.